Have you ever wondered how good your metal detector is in certain situations? Or why your metal detector hits hard on some targets and not so hard on other targets? Stop guessing and get real answers. I'm going to show you the test kit I made to get real answers.
Metal detecting tutorials, technology, and treasure.
Now, I built this kit so I could find out how deep the maximum depth is on any detector I have, how hard each detector hits on silver, gold, lead, other targets, and really discover everything I can about each and every detector I have. This information helps me decide which detector to take on any given circumstance. There's no guessing. I already know what detector to take where. We'll start off with my sticks. I've got a nail, there's a dollar coin, just a bunch of different coins. Here's a couple of others. I've got this nail. This is an old shotgun shell. Don't just have good targets. Have the junk targets too that you don't want to dig. A lot of times what you can do too is present two targets, a good coin target and a nail at the same time. Wave those. See what it does when there's a nail in proximity to your good target. So have junk targets as well as the good targets. Then besides the sticks, I have this kit here. This is what I use primarily. You can see inside my kit I have a pencil, I have a notepad to take notes, I've got my test items, we'll go over that in a second, and then I've got these sticks here that have tiny little gold nuggets. I use this in my gold testing. So this is specifically for gold nugget testing. But what I want to do is I want to open up my target kit and show you what's inside that. So right here I've got different relics. This is an old watch piece. Got a harmonica reed in there, about a quarter of a harmonica reed. Got an old cavalry button, which is, this one is Indian Wars. No, that's actually Civil War. Civil War. This is an old piece to a Cross Sabers hat pin. I've got my Civil War bullet. I've got an Indian Wars pistol bullet. You know, and here's some junk that I have. Pull tab, right? We see all those. So I've got a pull tab. I've got a little nail here. Got this boot nail here. They were used to connect the soles to the bottom of the boots. You find those all over the place, especially in gold prospecting camps for some reason. So this is my coin section here. Got a bunch of different coins. I'll just show you what I have in there. I've got this clad quarter. I've got this buffalo nickel. I've got a regular nickel. I've got an Indian hen penny. I even have my zinc penny. And I got a couple of old tokens here. They're not really old. They're from the 90s or the 80s, but I found them, and you know, I like to check my units on those. And when I'm air testing for depth, I use this mat here. This is a cutting mat. I think you can get them in the sewing area, but you know, it's broken down by inches. It goes all the way to 17 inches in length, 12 inches in width, or 11 inches in width. You know, I just set the coil right here, and then I test out to see how far the detector can detect. And I can see very easily from these numbers along this way. So this is a game changer. I used to take a piece of cardboard and I'd mark it, and I'd always lose that cardboard or it would get messed up. Now I'm going to show you an example of how I air test. Looking right about 7.5 inches, maybe 7 3/4, but let's be safe and go with 7.5 inches. There's going to be people out there that says, hey, air testing doesn't really tell you anything. In my opinion, they could not be further from the truth. What air testing does is it gives you an excellent baseline so you know how well your target hits on gold, how well your target hits on silver. And this is a clinical situation. So you know that when you get out in the field, it's not going to be as deep. The reason being is because you're dealing with ground mineralization there. So let me just give you an example of what I mean. Let's say you get a great quarter signal and you know because of your air testing at home that you can hit a quarter at 10 inches. Well, let's say now you're out in the field, you hit a quarter, you're way down past 10 inches. You've dug 12, 13 inches. You know that that's not a quarter because under the best circumstances in your lab, you are not able to go further than 10 inches. So you know this is probably a pretty big target. It could be a Coke can. It could be a bunch of quarters, but you know that it's not a single quarter. What are you using in your kits? Leave your comments below and tell me what your test kit looks like. Hey, if you enjoyed this content, the best thing you can do to help support my channel is give me a thumbs up or put a comment down below. If you're interested in my channel and you want to see more, I'd invite you to subscribe. Well, until next time, I will see you out in the field.